Hello, I'm Bob Trubshaw. I'd like to talk to you today about why medieval market towns needed bypasses. And I'm going to discuss several examples in Leicestershire, although I'm going to start with one just across the county boundary in Lincolnshire. I've described the Salters Way in several videos, starting with the Charnwood Slates and 18th century trade one, and more recently in the Saltways video. If you've seen either of those and got a good memory, you'll recall that the Salters Way joins what became the turnpike from Melton Mowbray to Grantham, which is now the A607. But it turns off to the south of Grantham, and then crosses the River Witham at Salterford, and goes on to join what's now the A52 to the east of the town. Something similar happened in Leicester. The Romans built the town straddling what we call the Fosse Way. And indeed, the modern High Street and Belgrave Gate follow the line of the Roman road. But if you ask Google Maps to take you to the Fosse Way in Leicester, it'll take you to roads to the west of the city centre. Yeah, they're right, these roads are indeed called Fosse Way South and Fosse Way North. And I'll explain that one in a moment. Less obvious is, frankly, the tantalising evidence of an all but lost east-west routeway to the south of Leicester. This seems to have run from Sutton Cheney, through Earl Shilton, then crossed the Fosse Way near Cosby, at the site of the meeting place of Guthlaxton 100. From there it extended eastward to Countersthorpe, Kilby, Wistow, Gibworth, Turlangton, Hallerton, Horninghold, and then Uppingham, where it joins the route eastwards we know as the A47. And yet another Saltway, one now known as Sawgate Lane, also runs east to west to the south of Melton Mowbray, and this provides a bypass around that town. And there's another one, the lane running to the east of the town centre, from Burton Lazars, going due north to Thorpe Arnold. It's called Lag Lane. The Old English word lag meant a wide meadow, and, as Lag Lane crosses the River Eye, then little doubt there would have once been substantial water meadows. So, these medieval bypasses seem to have existed. And there's even a couple in villages in North Leicestershire which had them. I'll discuss them in a few moments. And I'm confident that there's many more around the country. So, the obvious question is, why? Nowadays, we build bypasses to get about more quickly. But that wasn't the real problem in medieval times. Back then, it was all about the money, specifically tolls and taxes. Imagine you're a medieval merchant. You've got a wagon load of produce which you've just bought in Grantham, and know you're going to get a good price for it in Oakham. The obvious road, then as now, would take you through Melton Mowbray. But to get through Melton, you would need to pay tolls on your produce, just as you would if you were trying to sell in Melton itself. So, to be able to turn off at Thorpe Arnold and then rejoin the Oakham Road at Burton Lazars is going to save you loads of money. And this is why Fosse Road North and Fosse Road South were originally created around Leicester. It's simply a case of follow the money, or perhaps more accurately, dodge the tolls. Fosse Way North, Fosse Way South allow merchants to avoid paying tolls on goods which entered Leicester itself. The east-west route through Cosby is possibly even older. It may have started out as a prehistoric transhumance route. I discussed that in the Saltways video. But clearly was kept in use to access the 100 Moot site at Guthlaxton. And, conveniently, it allowed traders travelling east to west to avoid paying tolls by going through Leicester. Now, because tolls on salt were the most expensive compared to tolls on other goods, it makes perfect sense that the Salters Way bypasses Grantham. And even what now seem to be small villages on saltways had bypasses too. Wymeswold is known to have a salt street, and this runs parallel to the main road towards Melton Mowbray, which is now the A6006. You say, why Wymeswold? Well, we know Wymeswold had a market in the 14th century, as the market charter has survived. And what is now Clay Street was once called Cross Hill, as the market cross stood at the junction of Clay Street and 6006. However, Wymeswold Market, held on a Wednesday, seemed to have died out within about 100 years. And that might be because the next village to the northeast, Willoughby on the Wolds, also had a market around that time. The base of the market cross has survived, and Willoughby also has a bypass, a back lane if you like, which offers a route from Wymswold to the Fosse Way. So it seems traders wanting to avoid paying tolls in Wymswold and Willoughby had convenient bypasses. So it's not just the big towns as we think of them now. Have a look at old maps and minor place names and see if you can work out how medieval market towns near you would have been bypassed.